They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet. Gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen. In Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen brought to you by L81 Bottling Company. Taste, love, and share the tradition. Harvest Energy Solutions. Harvest cabins when you absolutely have to get away. Housewarmings, meeting all of your outdoor living and fireplace needs. Kentucky Sheep and Goat Development Office. Try something different tonight. Rose Farm Supply. Family farming and commitment to our customers since 1982. Salt Rocks, the flavor of life. Woods Equipment Company has every tool you need to make working the land as rewarding as hunting it. The city of Stanford, Kentucky. Come home to Stanford. Chrisman Mill Vineyards. Good Foods Co-op. Weisenberger Mill.
Hello and welcome to Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen with our special guest, Nicki Farmer.
Oh, wow.
What brings you here today?
I'm hungry.
You know, we are traditionalists. We love our grandparents and our great-grandparents, and we're interested in the things that were, and today's stuff as well. But for some reason, as you look around us and you see the antiquity, we are fascinated by yesteryear and the way they did things. And you know what? Speaking of that, my grandfather and your grandfather, anytime I went to my grandparents' house in the fall, either set of grandparents, the smell of turmeric was in the air. They were making relishes, they were making pickles and things like that.
It's in everything.
Yeah. Tell us about what happened when you'd go to the Indiana farmhouse and things that you would see on the plate.
They always had relish. You had to have some kind of pickle relish. So my grandfather, who's my dad's dad, always had to have corn relish. If you had a meat, any kind of meat, corn relish on the side for your vinegary sweet.
Now, just a
side.
dollop or a pretty good?
He did a pretty good piece of it. Just like at Thanksgiving with cranberry, he had to have corn relish with any kind of roast, meat.
And you know what? It's got vinegar in it, which is good for you. Let me show you what this looks like in the jar. First of all, that's corn, okay? And that's relish. And what happened when you fix these? I ate 8 of these jars.
Yes, that's all we have left.
Fantastic. It's wonderful. It's sweet and it's tart, and it has peppers.
And it's easy.
It's absolutely wonderful. But we got this corn right here from Good Foods.
Right.
We know where it came from. If you can't raise it yourself, know where you got it, know how it's been brought up, so on and so forth. All right, that being said, here we've got all this wonderful stuff. These actually came out of Kelly, our daughter's garden.
Oh, nice.
She brought those to us. And we're going to have us some corn relish. All right, I'm going to be still now because I want some more of this.
All right, and this is the canning book that is very old from my grandma. In fact, she wrote in it, she got it in 1978, Edna Solomon.
And there are food stains all through this
Yes, there
book.
are. And I had to tape it, but she always had to write her name, and she has all kinds of stuff underlined. But this is her corn relish recipe that she made forever. I love this recipe.
This is the typical corn relish that our grandparents had back in the 40s and 50s. I remember the smell, I remember the taste.
It's good. And what I've already done this. I've already boiled this corn for 5 minutes and then put it in cold water. That's kind of how when you put corn up, chilled it. And we're just going to cut this off. We need 6 cups of this. Now you can use
6 cups.
Right. You could use canned corn and drain it, but I like fresh corn.
This stuff right here, it enhances anything. Like if you got a meat dish, but man, I'm telling you, right out of the jar. It's better chilled too. I like it chilled.
You've eaten all of it. That's why we have to make more.
I didn't mean to.
So we're going to go ahead. If you want to throw that in, we need 6 cups of this.
6 cups?
Yes.
With our big measuring cup over here. That's what 6 cups of corn looks like.
That's right. It's good corn.
How many little jars will that make me?
About 8 or 9. We'll see what it does.
You know how long that lasts?
One night.
We're going to have to make a trip. Get some more corn.
Well, just pay attention. You'll make this yourself later.
I'm sure I can. You know what? Go ahead and get this started.
We're going to go 2.5 cups of vinegar.
So I'm going to go ahead and get this burner going. And we've got our water boiling back here, getting it ready to boil.
Right.
Because this is a hot bath. We don't have to pressure cook
Right.
this.
All right, now I need a cup of onion.
You know, while you're cutting that, talk about some stuff that's coming up. You know, we've already got some cool nights and some cool days, which makes me start thinking about soups and Dutch oven cooking and cowboy cooking. People are wanting some more cowboy cooking segments, and we will hook you up because as it gets cooler, we want to build a campfire. We want to build some fires outside and start cooking around that. We had a lady recently talk with us, and she said, "Can you can pumpkin?" Well, yes, you can pumpkin. And on next week's show, we're going to do that. Show you how to have some pumpkin. You can make all kinds of stuff with pumpkin. So we got your onions. How much onions?
That's 1 cup.
1 cup.
And it made me cry. I'm crying. Go ahead and start stirring that. Now I'm going to take a green pepper.
How much of that pepper do you use?
We need a cup of that also.
This year we canned so much, we ran out of space to store that. So what do? We're going to build a
Root cellar.
When we do that, we're going to dig a hole in the hillside. We're going to put our root cellar in there so we can have a constant cool temperature. A natural cool temperature. We can walk down in here, store our stuff. We can hang hams. It's a wonderful way to do that. Old-fashioned way, and we like the old-fashioned ways. So you can do it.
About a cup. Yeah.
Just 1 pepper?
1 cup. Yeah, 1 cup of peppers. We
1 cup of peppers.
1 cup. We go a little less if you want a little less.
There's your peppers.
I'm going to do some celery.
And some celery.
It's 1 cup of each of these. So 1 cup of onions, cup of peppers.
This would be a good time to tell you to like our Facebook page, Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen Facebook page. Also, check out timfarmerscountrykitchen.com. You might see some recipes you've never seen before. Keep up with where we're going, what we're doing.
Kind of got these chunky because they're going to cook down, and plus you want to, when you eat your corn relish, taste some of this. All right, so those we have a cup of onions, cup of pepper, cup of celery.
Now, was this Grandma?
This is Grandma Solomon's.
Solomon.
Exact recipe. So we got our celery, our onion, and our pepper. We're going to go a 1/4 cup.
That's the Indiana side, right?
Yes, pimentos, that's a 1/4 cup. You want to dump that in? The whole thing, pimentos.
You can buy those anywhere. Give us some nice color, texture.
Yep. It says a 1/2 cup to a cup of sugar. We're going to go a cup.
All right.
You want to put that in?
I'm all about that.
How about the sugar?
Now, we like to eat healthy, but you know what? Every now and then you just got to splurge.
I'm going to do a teaspoon, about 1.5 teaspoons of salt.
Okay.
I need a teaspoon of crushed pepper, and we need a clove of garlic, and then a teaspoon of celery seed, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, and that is it for this mixture. And what we're going to do is let's bring this to a boil for 5 minutes.
All right, so we're going to let this boil about 5 minutes.
As soon as it boils, 5 minutes, and then we're going to go through another process of thickening.
We're between processes, which leads me to think about the whole food process. Where do we get our food? Well, I like to get ours local. Now, I visited with Todd Clark from Clark Family Farms recently in Fayette County. He's making sure that his chickens are fed non-GMO stuff. They're on grass. They move them every day so they can peck. Chickens want to peck. They want to eat grass. They want to eat clover. They want to eat bugs. He makes that available for them. I'm going to hush my mouth. Let's go visit Todd Clark. Todd Clark, Clark Family Farms. You know what? Beautiful layout here, and I see chickens.
Lots of chickens.
But there's lots more than chickens here, and we'll get to that in a minute. You know what? As we get older, as we pay attention to what we're putting in our bodies. We pay attention to how people are raising the animals, and we pay attention to what the animals are getting fed before we eat them. This, as we talked about briefly before the camera went on, this is good for the land. You're not going to smell this chicken farm. I don't think it would matter how many chickens you have out there, you're not going to smell this, and why is that?
One thing is the rotation and the rest. And so we were talking about earlier, these chickens, not these chickens in particular, but these shelters started about 1,000 feet that direction early this spring. And so every day these shelters are moved on pasture. And so it gives the chicken a new environment every day in a fresh, clean environment with lots of bugs, lots of grass, lots of good things that chickens like to do. And so I think that's another way that it's different from a confinement operation.
Most chickens don't get this kind of exercise. Most chickens don't get to pick in the grass. Most chickens don't get to eat the bugs and everything it takes. What is the difference in the end product that we should care about?
I think these chickens taste better, and part of it's because of the exercise and the scratching and the pecking that they do on the ground. And then we don't use any antibiotics or growth stimulants with these chickens, but we don't have to because of the way that we're rotating the animals through. They have all the feed they can eat and all the water they can eat, plus able to hunt and peck and scratch on the ground. But we move these shelters every morning, top off the feed, top off the water, and at the end of 7 total weeks, 2 inside, 5 out, we're finished. And so the birds will then go from here to Marksbury Farm in Garrett County, where they're processed, and then from there they go to restaurants and supermarkets across the great state of Kentucky. So certainly it costs a little more to have that much labor into a chicken, to every day move it on pasture and to basically hand rear it versus huge confinement houses. But because of those little extra steps that we take with these birds, I think it makes for a better end product.
How many chickens do you raise on this farm per year?
Of meat chickens like behind us, this season we'll do about 15,000. And so we're doing batches of 1,000. We'll do 15 of those this season.
So you're saying meat birds, so what are the other birds?
So the other birds we raise are also, we have egg layers.
Gotcha.
And those are raised in more of a free-range atmosphere behind the netting, but not within a shelter. We do the egg layers. Those the system's a lot like this. The egg house is moved about every 3 days.
So how many eggs go out of here per year? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I do. We're currently at about 350 dozen a week.
Wow.
And so we've got 900, a little over 900 egg layers, and that business is expanding. And so we hope to get to 2,000 or 3,000 egg layers within the next couple of years.
Amazing. Now let's talk about this. You not only have chickens here, you have sheep and you have cattle. How does this, once these chickens are moved, obviously there's some signage here. Some obvious signage that they've been here, but what does this do to the pasture after that, and then what are you bringing here afterwards?
All the animals together, we're able to run actually a few more cattle than we could before, plus all of the other animals. So it's not a thing of, well, we're going to run sheep, so now we can't run as many cattle as we did before. So there's kind of a symbiosis between all the different species, and my place will green up quicker, stay green longer, grow more grass.
You know, I even like the fact that you said even your grain, you get local. You grab that chicken, everything in it is from Kentucky. That in itself is saying something right there.
I think so. In this year, we switched our grain to non-GMO. So it's one more box that's ticked. It's a choice, and I'm glad to provide a choice to the consumer.
And thank you so much for providing that direction.
Thank you, Tim.
We're going to come back and talk some more later about some of the other things you got going on.
Excellent.
Thanks, sir.
Now again, this is a hot bath. You don't have to worry about pressure cooking on this.
Well, think of all the cooking we're doing, because now we have another process.
And the vinegar. You got a lot of vinegar in here, and that's what's going to keep this from spoiling.
Right. All right, now I have 3 tablespoons of flour. I've got a 1/4 cup of water.
That's not just flour.
It's Weisenberger flour.
Wow.
Exactly. And then we also got to have turmeric. We're going to do a teaspoon of the turmeric.
Here's where the magic smell. I mean, that smells wonderful. But this reminds me of my grandfather and grandmother's kitchen.
Oh, yeah. And then dry mustard. This
mustard.
is a tablespoon, so we'll put a little more on this. I'm just kind of eyeballing all this.
Don't
All
put
right.
that on the tip of your tongue.
Mix this up. And I'm going to also add a 1/2 cup of vinegar to this.
More vinegar.
I got this all whisked, and we're going to add this, and if you want to stir it, and this is what's going to thicken the whole mixture up.
Now, how long does this?
We're going to do this for 6 minutes.
6 minutes? Okay. Let me look at my watch. Oh, that's got
Doesn't
the
it smell good? See how it's already thickening up for you there?
Oh, man. While this is boiling, let's go visit the Bluebird in Stanford.
That's my
with Chef
favorite
Bill.
restaurant. Yeah.
Chef Bill doesn't do anything that's not absolutely delicious. And let me tell you what, if you haven't had Chef Bill's stuff, then you're missing out.
That's right.
We are back at the Bluebird with Chef Hawkins. You know what? We have watched this place and watched you grow, and we come down here and eat every chance we get. You know, before the camera's on, we talked about this food movement. People are paying attention to where their food is coming from, finally. Some people are. And you can go from place to place to place, know the farmer, know who raised it, and that brings to mind some chicken that you're going to fix. We just got done with Todd. We just saw him a few minutes ago. He's raising all kinds of chickens and turkeys and sheep, and guess what? You have become a huge part of this local movement, and you've got Todd's Chicken right here. How
Absolutely.
important is it to you and your family and your kids, now that you know, you've been all over the place. Now that you know the food business in and out, where the food comes from, how important is that for your family, for you and your family?
Oh, it's absolutely important. It's my personal belief that eating local, eating natural foods, chemical-free, no antibiotic, no growth hormones, no steroids, I believe that's an imperative to our health. It's going to make you feel better. Right. I mean, it really does. I've seen a difference in my own personal health.
Now, we can't fix everything. I'm on the road all the time. And sometimes you got to go by that fast food place and just destroy yourself with.
Absolutely.
But when I'm on my time and when I'm doing my things, we do have choices now. And we can go to a place like Good Food and say, okay, I know where this came from, I know where this came from, I know where that kale came from, I know where that butter came from, I know where the cheese came from. That being said, I'm starving.
Okay.
So what do we do about
Well, let's get started. I've got some Todd Clark's Clark Farms chicken. I'm just going to make what I call a bayou chicken sandwich. We'll take a little bit of it, and I'm going to put it in this Creole seasoning here, little blackening spice. And I'm just going to go right over to the charbroil and grill these up for you. And I'll put it right on this grill. This grill runs about 700 degrees, so it's not going to take a whole lot of time. I'd prefer to serve you a little side of grilled asparagus on some of our garden fresh tomatoes.
And what do you call it on the menu?
The bayou chicken. Also, we make the wheat here, and this is a no GMO wheat as well. We make our breads as well.
Are those local greens?
Yes. A Little Piece of Paradise grew them for us, and that's just a local farm that brought them in for me.
Ooh, I want some of that tomato.
I'm going to slice him and put him on the plate and then lay the grilled asparagus on top of him.
Now, if people want to find you, where you guys at?
We're at 202 West Main, Stanford, Kentucky. Best little town in Kentucky.
Oh my goodness! As usual,
Here's our
my mouth's starting to
blackened chicken, and I just melted a little Swiss cheese over the top of it. We've got chicken from Clark Farms. We've got bread produced today here with a no GMO wheat. The tomato salsa comes from, that's our peppers, that's our tomatoes. So this is pretty much our guy. It's the bayou chicken. We just got a little avocado, no GMO wheat. This is the salsa made with our garden vegetables, our tomatoes. And then we put that together.
So now you have to ask for this if you come in here. Is it
Yeah,
still on the menu?
This is not currently a menu item. It's an old menu item, and I do feature it as a special at least once or twice a month. But if you ask for it, if you'd like the bayou chicken, you're welcome to ask for it, and we'll make it for you.
So if I set this right up here with that to get a real pretty shot. And what kind of tomatoes?
This is Mr. Stripey.
I can't look at that anymore without taking a bite.
Oh, great.
Can I?
Dig right in.
Oh man, look at that. I've got some jealous people behind the camera right now. Of course I'll have to share, because I'm like that, and I'm gonna bring this over here. The salsa and the blackened seasoned together, and a nice crisp chicken with the fresh tomatoes. Now, is that just mayonnaise?
It's a garlic aioli that we make here. So,
oh wow!
Essentially, it's just kind of a handmade mayonnaise that you would make here in house with a little bit of lemon and garlic.
That is phenomenal. All right, this is the Mr. Stripey.
Yes, and that is my favorite of the heirloom tomatoes. The yellows have a little lower acid content, which appeals to me.
Yes, as we get older, we pay attention to that sort of thing.
Right.
Oh man!
Isn't that nice? I've tried at home for 3 years to grow a Mr. Stripey and never got one. This year, I don't know what it was about the ground up there. I think it had just laid fallow for so many years. It was so rich when we tilled it up, it was almost black, and the plants just took off. They did wonderfully.
No fertilizer.
Nothing.
That's amazing.
Nothing. Literally, we added water.
That right there. Oh, I'm getting some of that heat, and the avocado's coming back and soothing it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. What's next? What are we gonna do next?
Whatever you'd like to do. We can do some great beef.
Oh, let's do beef. It's what's for dinner. Thank you, Chef. Every time we go to Chef Bill, he's got something creative and different and wonderful. He's one of those guys that just does magic with food.
He makes it look simple too, and it's so good.
It's fantastic. Now,
All right, 6 cups of corn. You got it. We've boiled. We're going to add this, and we're going to boil another 5 minutes.
all right,
So if you want to scoop out the rest of that,
nice and thick at this point.
right? And we want to let it all cook in for 5 minutes.
For 5 more minutes.
Right.
Let me check my watch. Now, when you do this recipe, remember to crack your windows because much vinegar, as it's boiling, goes throughout the cabin kitchen area.
Maybe do it on the porch or something. This would be good, outside.
Now, as I smell the smell of vinegar, for some reason it makes me think of something moronic.
Really?
Moronic.
Does it?
You know what? There's 2 guys who we absolutely love, and they're called the Moron Brothers, and they fit right into our country kitchen
Yes, they do.
deal. Let's go out to the front porch and see if they're out there.
Okay.
I'm Lardo.
And I'm Burley, and we're the Moron Brothers.
Got a frog in my throat. Every time we do this song right here, it reminds us of her Aunt Lardonia. Bless her heart. She's got everything a man wants. Thick beard, big muscles, and hairy chest.
Tim Farmer looks like our sister.
Well, except for the mustache.
Tim ain't got no mustache.
Aunt Lardonia does.
That's right, she does. Well, Susie Leaf and Love and planned to marry Joe. Got so excited about it all, she told her pappy so. But pappy said, now Susie girl, you'll have to find another. I just as soon your mom don't know, but Joe is your half brother. Well, Susie Lee forgot about Joe planned to marry Will. When she told her pappy this, he said there's trouble still. Now you can't marry Will, my gal, please don't tell your mother. But Will and Joe and some more I know, they're all your half brothers. Well, Susie Lee began to cry, said I feel so blue. When her mama heard all this, she came to her rescue. She said, now listen, Susie girl, you do what makes you happy. You can marry Will or Joe, 'cause you ain't no kin to pappy.
I could eat that as a soup,
Wasn't that simple?
as a sweet tart soup.
I know,
That
you
was
probably
simple.
would. You probably
I'm
would.
telling you what, folks, if you like old-fashioned stuff, this is just gonna ring your bell. Go ahead.
All right, we're going to go
Let's
ahead
get
and
it
fill.
in a jar. The quicker you get it in a jar and in a hot bath, the quicker it goes in the refrigerator for
And you
me
can
to
eat
eat
it.
for breakfast. I
There
can
you
eat a
go.
whole jar of that.
You want to steal those away as I
Put
do
the
them?
tops on. Now, this is going into a hot bath. We've got our water boiling for what, 15 minutes?
15 minutes. And that's it.
Oh, this is a little bit of old-fashioned heaven right here.
And I think it tastes better once it's refrigerated, but you like it anyway.
Now, these jars, you
I've already
sterilized
sterilized
a while
them. I did.
back. Those are nice and tight.
Nice and
By
tight.
the way, those are nice and hot.
Yes, they are.
Whoa.
I think we're ready.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
We got 7 out of that.
All right. Water's boiling. Jars go in.
That looks perfect.
15 minutes, right?
Timer going, 15 minutes.
We get the timer going.
We are ready.
Look at here.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Are you going to share any of those
8,
with anybody?
9, 10. Wow. You know, we talked about the fact that we're running out of space and we're going to do a root cellar. I don't think we're going to have to worry about storing any of these because they're little bitty jars. They can fit in a refrigerator easily,
Right.
and therefore be consumed easily.
Right.
Meanwhile, it's all about
Good times,
good friends.
good eats.
We'll see you next week on a brand new Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen.
To order a cookbook or DVD of the show, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com.
Special thanks to Furniture World Superstore, Kinco Farm Fence Supplies, Polecat Custom Smokers, Tater Knob Pottery and Farm, and Tim Farmer Productions. Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen brought to you by L81 Bottling Company. Taste, love, and share the tradition. Harvest Energy Solutions, harvest cabins when you absolutely have to get away. Housewarmings, meeting all of your outdoor living and fireplace needs. Kentucky Sheep and Goat Development Office, try something different tonight. Rose Farm Supply, family farming and commitment to our customers since 1982. Salt Rocks, the flavor of life. Woods Equipment Company has every tool you need to make working the land as rewarding as hunting it. The city of Stanford, Kentucky. Come home to Stanford. Chrisman Mill Vineyards. Good Foods Co-op. Weisenberger Mill.